Noah's Ark is certainly one of the most important and integral stories in the entire narrative of scriptures, of the scriptures. And what I want to look at in this video really quickly is the places where we see it reflected actually earlier in the biblical narrative than the flood of Noah, and then also where it serves as a type for later things to come in the story of God. Okay, so I want to look at the typology surrounding Noah's Ark real quick. Now, a quick throw out here, a quick plug here. We actually just recently hit 100 subscribers, which is super exciting. Now we're on the road to 1,000. So if you like this content, keep in mind that a subscription can really help us to grow. So I just want to throw that out there. Okay, so where do we see it taking place earlier in the story? Well, in Genesis chapter 1, we see this notion of the earth itself being drawn out of the chaos of creation. Obviously, God is ordered, so he knows what he's doing all the time. We see that in Hebrew thought, though, it's the earth that's being drawn out as a form of an ark in the midst of the waters. And in ancient Hebrew thought, waters were chaotic, okay? So as the Spirit hovered over the waters, the earth is the formless void. The earth is drawn from it as a form of an ark, okay? Then, obviously, in Noah's Ark, what we see is we see humanity, we see a remnant of humanity and creation delivered through the waters of the flood in order to preserve that which God had called good in the earlier chapters of Genesis. So God is redeeming and restoring that which he called good earlier on, okay, through the animals, their redemption, or through their deliverance through the waters, and then also through the remnant of humanity that's delivered, okay, and Noah and his family. Then later on in the story, what we see is we see the one who will go on to deliver Israel, Moses, being delivered in an ark through the water, okay? Now, what I'm referencing here is when Moses is placed in a basket in the Nile River, it's actually the same word in Hebrew that's used for Noah's Ark. That same word is also used for Moses's basket, okay, which he's placed in. So you can think of the one who delivers Israel as initially delivered through the waters in an ark. Okay, then make of this what you will. There's a lot we could draw out here, but when they go into the promised land, it's an ark that goes before them and separates the waters as they go into the promised land. Okay, little distinct, there's distinction between these stories, but they're all also playing on this notion of deliverance through the waters. And there's a place where that salvation is kept around. Okay, where they're kept within this vessel. Okay, then obviously later where we see this play out is in the person of Christ. We see this play out in his birth. He's delivered in a manger, okay, through the waters of his mother Mary, okay, the one who will deliver the world. And then later on in the church, you can think of it this way. The nave in novice means ship, and you go through the baptismal font, usually with 8 sides, the 8 people on Noah's Ark, into the church.